Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel and welcome to the review video of IRONMAN 70.3 Muncie, Indiana. It was a great weekend. I left on Friday morning at about 7 a.m. and we took our 5-hour drive to Muncie, Indiana without realizing that I was going to lose an hour. So I drove expecting to get there at 12, and then we get there at 1 p.m. because it's Indiana Eastern time. So that already kind of delayed me back a little bit because right when I got there, there was athlete briefings, and that's kind of where you understand the rules of what you're doing, and then they explain penalties and they explain a lot about the Ironman competition there. So I missed out on that, which impacted me later in this video, which I'll explain. And also I got to experience the Ironman Village for the first time. It was an amazing opportunity. I saw somebody that I met on TikTok, shout out Blake. And when I got there, I first went to the store. Ironman still took my money after spending $500 on the registration fee. I spent about another $200 on the jerseys and calf sleeves, which when I left, I forgot to bring the calf sleeves too, but I bought a new jersey to race in, and I mean, it was worth it. I had wanted to, spend something and get something from the Ironman store, so that's what I rewarded myself with for all the hard work that I did. But I got my bag, I got my shirt, registration was all smooth, check-in was all smooth. After that, dropped the bike off, put the bike away with the new speed wheels, and I don't know how they keep all those bikes safe, but there's like probably $100,000 plus $1,000, $200,000 sitting in that green grass field. So I mean, whoever is patrolling that area got to have some high-tech security, I guess. But my bike was safe the next morning. The rest of the day, carb loaded, had some Mexican food, ultimate comfort food, and got ready for what was to be my first Ironman 70.3. So I need to start taking melatonin the night before the race because I don't sleep before races. It's just a thing. Like, I will not go to sleep. So I tried my best to go to bed, and it did not work whatsoever. I was sleeping next to my dad, and he was just knocked out, and I was like, man, I can't even fall asleep right now. So I fell asleep for like an hour, and then I woke back up, and I just kind of accepted that I was not going to sleep the whole night. So I just kind of go on my phone, which is probably the worst thing I could have done, but I just couldn't do nothing for like 5 hours because I had woken up and it was like 10:30, and I was like, I got to wake up in 5 hours because we woke up at 3:30 for the race day. And I was on my phone, and then I actually got tired again, so I went back to sleep and then got another 2.5 to 3 hours. So I got probably in total 3.5 to 4 hours of sleep, which isn't bad for me. When I ran the 50-mile ultra, I didn't sleep at all, so maybe an hour. But yeah, so I woke up excited for race day. I was feeling a little sluggish just from being tired, but I immediately took a cold shower, did some stretching, got ready, and then I was ready to go with that. Prayer, reading my Bible, just getting my mind right for the race. And I try to be as carefree and joyful as possible and not so intense, because you get to races like that and there's, you have these goals. I wanted to go sub 6 hours, and you have these lofty you have this lofty opportunity in front of you to where, oh, I could really make a name for myself, or like, you just got to stop thinking about that. You have to think about the race that you have in front of you and enjoying it. I think the mantra in my head was step, breathe, enjoy it. Because I know that in the midst of suffering, it stinks. People were making jokes, oh, all this for a backpack, all this for a t-shirt. And yeah, it stinks when you're at the end of those races, but like, you very rarely have that type of opportunity to where you're blessed to go out there and run a race like that to the best of your ability. So I tried to enjoy it as hard as it was. So we got to the area where I checked my bike in. We got ready to start the race. Me and my dad got there at about 5 a.m., but the lines were so long that it took us 30 minutes just to get onto the actual course. So we got there about an hour before the start time. So I was there about 5:30 in the morning. And it was go time. It was go get my bike, have my kit on, make sure all my nutrition bags and stuff. Those transition areas, they're pretty tough. Just making sure it kept going. Those transition areas are pretty tough, especially as a newcomer, because you don't really know what to expect. My first transition took me 9 minutes. So what I wore kind of played into that. I didn't really have a towel or anything. So those are improvements to make for next time. But let's just talk about the start of the race. So I was at the Prairie Creek Reservoir in Muncie, or Salima or something. And that start line, I was actually feeling very calm. I made sure I was listening to my hype songs before. I was sitting, I was breathing, praying, and then I was ready to go. I was very locked in. I actually didn't, my heart wasn't racing at all. I felt completely fine right before I was standing, and then I started talking to some people. I met a friend named Will and another friend named Riley, and they both did amazing. I'm so proud of them. And I only saw them at the beginning. I think I saw Will a couple times in the water, and then I was like, all right, didn't see them the rest of the race. So made some friends, followed them on Instagram, and it was awesome. So then I went to the start of the swim, and they called you out 3 at a time. I went to the 37 to 40 minute range swim. I didn't know how fast I was gonna go, but I knew that I was capable of swimming 40 minutes. So I didn't want to be like, oh, too humble and like go down to like 50 minutes or anything, because I knew I could outswim that. So they sent us out 3 at a time. Immediately I like hit someone right away. Like I hit someone, I kept touching people. It's like I kept, catching people on their arm or on their feet. And then same thing happened to me. People kept bumping into me. People kept touching my feet. There was a couple times where I almost swam like off course. Like my sighting was not good. So that's an improvement area. And the buoys, they were very bright, very good placement, but I almost swam too early. I turned almost too early and didn't go across the buoy. So that definitely cost me a couple minutes. And I had to go back on course, but I swam around that, and then I got through that first kind of half, that first 20 minutes. The swim, even though I finished in 40 minutes, it did not feel that long. The swim, probably because I was going so fast, and that's when my heart rate was the highest of the whole race. I was probably sitting around like 180, 190. No, definitely like 180, not 190, but I was just so focused on continuously swimming that the time passed, but it was very boring 40 minutes because you can't really say anything. You're just swimming straight. And yeah, I finished that in 40 minutes and like 50 seconds. So that put me about a 2-minute pace per 100 yards. Not terribly disappointed. It was right around my goal. My goal is about 150 per 100 yards. So swim definitely didn't hold me back in my race goal time. But I get out of the water, and all those jokes that people make about you fighting demons out of the water are completely true, because I immediately get out and I'm like, you're horizontal the whole time, and then you get up, you stand up, and you're like, what is going on? What is happening? And I just like, all I knew is that I had to just keep moving. So I kept running, trying to calm down on the way to the transition area. Take 9 minutes in my transition. I'm putting on my cycling jersey. Couldn't find my towel. I had to put on my socks, and then I tried to put on my calf sleeves. Put on my first calf sleeve and get it on, then put on my second calf sleeve backwards on accident, ripped it, and I had to take it off and then put it back on. So that cost me like probably 2 minutes or a minute and a half or something. And then I ripped it, so I was all like, dang. But I couldn't even think, like, you just have to keep moving, you have to stay present. And then I put on my cycling shoes. I made sure I had all my nutrition. I already pre-packed it in my jersey, but then I was like, oh, I need more. Like, that's not gonna be enough. Took my bottles, and then just headed out. Put my helmet on, glasses on, and I was out. So the bike, it was pretty good. I held on to about 19.2 miles an hour. Finished it in 2 hours, 57 minutes. The speed wheels and aero bars really helped me. And I think the course being pretty flat really helped too. I mean, I train in hilly part of Missouri, St. Louis area, so I'm used to climbing and then kind of going easy on the descents. But in Muncie, it's completely a flat course, and you have to keep pedaling, and you have to keep your cadence high the whole time, because it's very gradual rolling hills. And if you don't keep your cadence high, then you're gonna start burning out your legs, and you're gonna get very worn out. So the one thing that was different is that you have to constantly keep pedaling in Muncie, whereas in Missouri, I can kind of coast a little bit and hang on to kind of a higher average in my miles per hour. But in Muncie, it's just flat, and that's a good thing, because I got to PR. I almost hit 20 miles an hour, which was my goal. I was very close and very pleased with that. I mean, about halfway through the bike, I was getting pretty tired, but I just kept taking caffeinated SIS gels. Those are amazing. They're about 46 grams of carbs per gel. So I was doing 80 to 100 grams of carbs per hour on the bike, which I probably should have been doing more, but that was enough for me. Those gels and carbs really helped me push through, and the electrolytes and all the people that were handing out water bottles at the aid stations, I would grab them and just keep biking. The one thing that was hard about the bike is that it was hard for me to stay in aero position, because my back was just hurting. And I noticed that the most disciplined riders or the best riders were very disciplined in their aero positioning on their bike. And a lot of them did have nicer bikes, but they were still in that position the whole time. And they were flying, probably holding 24 to 25 miles an hour. But that can improve. That's low-hanging fruit. That's just going to get better. And for my first one, I was very pleased with the bike. Very proud of myself. Apparently, I got a penalty. I didn't even ask what it was for, but it could have either been throwing trash outside the designated area or drafting. It was most likely drafting, but not exactly sure. So then get back to the transition area. Only took like 4 minutes in the next transition, or 5 minutes, to get my my running shoes on, and then to get my gels and my belt, my bib belt, and then change into my hat. So those were only changes I made on the run. And then I ran that last 13 miles with everything I had left, trying to stay at around a 145 to 155 heart rate. And I mean, I held on to an 11-minute pace. Probably not my best run, but that's the best I could give on that day. I tried to go faster. I really wanted sub 6, but I ended up with 6:15, which by no means am I disappointed. I'm very proud, and I'm very happy with the effort that I put out. I'm very thankful. But I know that I could have done better time-wise, especially if I reeled in on my penalty and then my transition time. But the run, it was very cool because the swim was perfect weather, the bike was perfect weather, barely any wind, and then on the run, it just starts pouring. The first 2 miles, I'm hot, I'm throwing ice into my bib and my hat, I had an ice cap on, and then the rain just starts pouring down and it cooled everyone off, and it was very nice, and it felt like you were in a movie. It felt cinematic with all the rain coming down, so that was a really cool experience for my first one. I think that it could not have gone more perfect, and I think that was God looking after me and everyone on the course. So all the aid stations were very nice. It was like every mile was an aid station, and that was beautiful. Some of the rolling hills out there were tough. I was cramping at the end, and right before you cross that finish line, about a mile before, there's just a big hill. And I was like, okay, and I'm cramping and I'm holding on to like probably a 12-minute pace, and I'm like, slugging along. But yeah, and then I get right 50 feet away. I'm like thinking about what I'm gonna do when I cross the finish line. 50 feet away from the finish line. And I get called, hey, 924, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you have a 2-minute penalty to serve. He's like, you have a 2-minute penalty to serve. And I'm like, what do you mean I have a 2-minute penalty right now? I didn't say anything, but I was just kind of like, okay, I just want to get this over with. I didn't even ask him what it was for, so I still don't know. It was either for drafting or trash or something, or maybe swim barrier thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the swim had any penalties. I think it's mainly the bike, but it had to have been on the bike. So something happened. And I was cramping, so I had to walk up kind of like a hill, kind of, to keep walking in the penalty area. And he was like, keep walking. I was like, okay. So I just walked around for 2 minutes, went by very fast, and then I got to run around the finish and finish my Ironman, so it was amazing. But I do think it's kind of weird that they make you serve the penalty instead of just adding it onto your time. Like, even if it kind of felt like they were putting you in timeout, and that was like, they were like disciplining you or reprimanding you because you had a penalty, and it was just really weird. Like, you are so close to the finish, and some people are paying so much money for this moment, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna make you sit right here right before you turn. Like, that's just weird. I would just add it to the end. I'm still very thankful I got to finish and I got the time that I got. But that was my experience. It was very fun, very thankful, like I've said. And now I want to talk about the next thing that I'm going after, and that's gonna be a full Ironman. And my goal is to do it before I turn 22. And I have a pretty ambitious goal, which is to qualify for Kona or a world championship. And I want to do Ironman Florida. I have my sights on Ironman Florida. We'll see if that comes into fruition, but I'm 21 right now, turned 22 in December. So I have about 4 months from now to get prepared for Ironman Florida. A lot of fitness to pick up on, a lot of work to be done. And if I stay consistent for 4 months and I'm putting in 18 to 20 hour training weeks, I can be pretty confident to say that Ironman Florida, Kona is a possibility. With my support system, I'm very blessed. And I want to take you guys along for the ride. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And yeah, bye-bye.